Okay, everybody, thanks for getting on the webinar. I cannot tell you how excited I am to be doing this. You're watching someone realizing a 10-year dream. Years and years and years ago, maybe even more than 10 years ago, I dreamed about creating a program that would help people have their own networking group. Either there isn't a group where they live, or they don't like the ones they're in, or they think they could do it better. There is a better way. If you're in other networking groups, I promise you that I've developed something that's better, and we're going to get into that today. My goal is to help you find a better networking group, make some money, work with me so I can help you get to the next level. Okay? So again, thank you very, very much for being here. So the name of this course is B2B Gathering, which is the name of my networking company, how to facilitate your own networking group. And basically, I'm going to give you the opportunity to work with me and we can do it together. So here's the agenda. I'm going to go a little bit over who I am, what a networking group is, what makes the business model that I developed different, why now? And I'll give you some reasons why I'm decided to do this now. I want to answer for you what's in it for you. And you might be saying, why don't I just run my own group? I'll cover that with you. And then if you want to work with me, and if you're excited about it and you really want to go to the next level, I'll talk to you about what's involved in doing that with me. So I have two outcomes for our time together. The first one, I'm going to give you some key concepts about networking and networking groups. I want to maybe turn some of the things you've heard before about networking groups on its ear. Maybe tell you some things about networking groups that you've never heard before. Secondly, at the end of the talk, I'm going to extend an invitation for you and I to enter into a mentoring relationship. I'll teach you, I'll train you step by step how to build your own networking group. So I have a question. We had a lot of people register for this webinar. One of the, maybe the most I've ever, almost the most I've ever had register for any webinar. So there's definitely a need and a desire for networking groups. So I want you to ask yourself, why are you here today? Why? Why are you spending this hour to hour and 10 minutes with me? So I want you to think about that for a second. Why are you here? Do you want to make more money? This is the most important one. This is one's going to take you far in life. Do you love helping people? When you wake up in the morning, I can't wait to see who I'm going to help today. If you have that mentality, you are going to be very, very successful. So anytime that I have ever worked with someone, or I've had a mentor, or I've paid someone to coach me, I wanted to know about them and about their background and why should I listen to them. So this is going to be me talking about me, and it makes me uncomfortable. I don't really like to talk about myself a lot, but you need to get to know who I am if you're going to enter into a potentially very long-term relationship with me. So I want to tell you my story and how I got to this position of being a professional networker. Yes, I run networking groups and teach networking for a living. So I grew up in a city called San Leandro, and I got an engineering degree from Eastman Kodak. And for 9 years, I serviced copiers from 1990, 8.5 years, 1990 to 1998 and a half, driving 4,000 miles a month in my car. Those 4,000 miles a month, listening to Jim Rohn, Bob Proctor, Brian Tracy, you name it, I've listened to it. Thousands of hours in my car. And that led me to wanting to be something more than a copier repair guy. In 1998, I got laid off from Eastman Kodak. I had the opportunity to get into staffing. I met a gentleman whose son owned a staffing firm. So I became a recruiter 1998, 99, 2000, 2001. I rode a wave My joke is I rode a wave of fame and fortune. I went from nothing to something to nothing. So if you all remember the dot-com crash, I was doing staffing for startups and taking a portion in money and a portion in pre-IPO stocks. 28 years old, on paper multimillionaire. 29 and 30 years old, broke because of the crash. I got recruited by Cisco Systems, and I worked there for 7 months as an executive level recruiter, and then I got laid off again. I took the rest of that year off. I was in a jewelry store getting my wedding ring cleaned, and the store manager offered me a job selling jewelry, which I did for 2 years. So at that point in my life, I had a ton of experience, 10 or 15,000 cold calls, helping people negotiate stock options, sign-on bonus, everything involved in staffing, which is one of the most intricate jobs you could have because you're dealing with people's careers and their lives. And then selling jewelry, that you learn negotiation skills on another level when you're selling jewelry, especially when there's 13 jewelry stores in the same mall. So I did that for 2 years. And I remember I was talking to a lady and I was selling her jewelry every month. I go, "What do you do?" And she goes, "I work for the Yellow Pages." And I remember cocking my head to the side going, huh. She goes, "I could get you a job there in a second." So I interviewed there. I had more sales experience than the entire management team combined. I got a job there. I did Yellow Pages for 6 months. This is where we lead into becoming a professional networker because of the beatdown, absolute beatdown. So I didn't know the leads I was given were already called by 5 or 6 other people at the company. By the time I get these clients on the phone, they're yelling at me, they're F-bombing me, they're swearing at me. But the nice people, and I had a few, would say, "Rick, I don't advertise. Networking, word of mouth, referral groups, past clients, I don't advertise. I like to work with referrals, not leads." And I'm sitting there going, "What? I'd never heard of this." Around that exact same time, I met a lady who was running networking groups. This was August of 2003. And I remember sitting with her, and she was recruiting me to join her group for the Yellow Page. I looked at her and I went, "I think I want to do what you do." Well, come to find out, she was looking for somebody to take the company over. She just didn't tell anyone. So here I come into her life through the law of attraction, and I start working with her. Started in August of 2003. The last day of March 2004, we separated, and I started B2B Gathering. So I became a professional networker in August of 03, started B2B Gathering April 1st, 2004. I'm trying to get the slide to go forward. Here we go. I always joke and tell people I have a PhD, and it's from the Automobile University. I got it in my car. I probably have, and you guys, I know a lot of you on this webinar and listening to this, you do a lot of education in your car. So that's Automobile University. I want to say I have 4 or 5 college degrees, and that comes from listening to over 10,000 hours of educational programs in my car. I've probably read close to 700 books. I know that says 500. That's not cover to cover, but that's reading a lot of 500 to 700 books. And you can see the topics are personal development, sales and marketing, networking, leadership, speaking, course creation, all that good stuff. I've attended over 1,200 networking groups, and I've built 30 completely from scratch, and I've facilitated way over 800 referral meetings. Okay, the number you see there, I've had over 5,500 one-on-one coffee meetings. That's a lie. It's probably over 6,000, but nobody believes it anyway, so I'll just leave it at 5,500. Way over 5,500 one-on-one coffee meetings. I talk on the phone 5 to 10 minutes a month. I meet people face to face. That's what I do. I do webinars, and I like to look people in the eye and see them face to face. I've heard way over 18,000 elevator speeches. I've studied just the topic of networking over 8,000 hours. That's a much younger me. Got the chance to teach networking and share the stage with Les Brown at the Millionaire Marketing Seminar. That was a long time ago. I've created 2 courses on networking called the Coffee Meeting Millionaire. It's the Essentials course and the Mastery course. I'll tell you about that at the end. And hopefully it's okay if I show you a couple testimonials because I can't hear your response. But thank you for letting me show you a few. This is something that if you do speaking, you've got to build credibility with your audience. And I'm trying to build credibility with you and letting you know I'm qualified to teach this. And I've been doing this for so long. So here's one from Andy. I've been working with Rick about a year on how to go about networking. He totally overhauled the way I do my elevator pitch and taught me how to be more effective out in the business community. Directly from the coaching I've gotten from Rick, I now have over $6,000 a month in recurring business. Here's another nice one from Dr. Cynthia. Rick is amazing. He's very professional, and his direct button-down approach is concise, efficient, and effective. I was able to learn new speaking skills in a very short time period. That has translated to grow 3 times my goal and twice the profitability that I projected in my business plan now 4 months into my new practice. So I want to back up and show you that guy and show you that lovely lady. And to tell you they have combined 10 times more college education than me is an understatement. They're so much smarter than me, I can't even tell you. Here's the problem. Networking and referral generation and the proper laws you need to follow to be successful in networking is not taught in college. So you can be the greatest person in the world in your business. You still have got to learn how to bring in the business or you're going to be very lonely. A lot of times when I stand on stage and work with CPAs, I'll say, I know you all would prefer to sit in front of a computer and a calculator, and I know you're really good at that. If you don't learn the skill of people, you're going to be very lonely with your computer. So we got to get good at this skill of networking. These are just some funnies. It may seem as I'm being nice, but I'm actually just networking. We're not gossiping, we're networking. I try networking, but everybody I know is unemployed too. The currency of real networking is not greed, but generosity. And this is a visual of what networking is. It's connecting people to people. I want to make very clear, networking is not walking up to people and handing them your business card. That's marketing. Telling people who you are and what you do, marketing. That is not networking. So let's talk about what a networking group is, and there's no better way to show you some visuals and then give you a verbal explanation. I'm a visual guy. So let's look at a networking group. That's a cool picture. Let's look at a networking group. That's a networking group. That's a networking group. What goes on? People develop trust. People develop partnerships that last for life. I met right there in the middle, if you guys can see right there, that's my wife. I met her in this group 8 years ago. People are doing business. They're listening. They're paying attention. They're having fun. Some fun. We don't want to have too much fun because it's a professional business meeting, but we're having fun. Okay, there's 4 types of networking groups. We're only going to talk about number 4. And number 4 is called a hard contact networking group. Here's the definition. Hard contact networking groups. I'm going to read it off the screen. You can listen along. You can read it too. Formal networking groups that meet for the purpose of networking and sharing leads or referrals. Examples of these groups are BNI, LaTip, Ali Lassen's Leads Club, and B2B Gathering. These groups offer the opportunity to gain friendship, support, more business, and contacts you'd otherwise never have a chance to meet. You can also gain additional important information about events and happenings in the business community. These groups require regular attendance and dues. The benefit to a hard contact networking group is you're able to build strong networks with the other members, as they also have a vested interest in the success of you and the others in the group. These groups allow only one industry per category. That's what makes it a hard contact networking group. It's one industry per category. There's no competition. The downsides can include time commitment and depending on how often the groups meet. These types of groups are best suited for people who like to help others succeed and who are looking to grow their own business. If you like to sell to people and sell to everyone you meet, then go do that, because the networking group's not going to work for you. If you're not there to help other people, you're not going to have the success you want. Let's go in a little bit more detail about what we do at these meetings. A little bit more specific, we do introductions, we hand out business cards, promotional materials, flyers for seminars you're doing. We're letting 15 to 20 to 25 to 30 other people at one time know exactly what we're doing, which is an advantage of speaking to people one-on-one. You get to do it in a group setting. We get to learn about other businesses, other business professionals. We get to train our non-commissioned, non-salaried sales force how to sell for us. We do that through the elevator speech, which is the kind of the foundation and the key for all networking groups. 3 reasons you should attend a networking group. Number 1, to help other people build their business. And it's not from your services, it's from your contacts. You have clients currently who could use the services of other people in the group. Now, we have a gentleman on the webinar today who I've met one time. He's a handsome, dashing young man, and he's going to smile when I say this. He's a professional photographer. And he knows I'm talking about him now. So I don't know if he does weddings, but if he does, then he needs to have in his back pocket wedding planners, event planners, limo drivers, people who make dresses, sell dresses, people who sell tuxedos and rent tuxedos, travel agents. If I didn't say limo drivers, those are the types of people he needs to have in his back pocket to provide to his clients. People go, well, yeah, I meet people and I just sell them my stuff. Well, what about the contacts and the people you could bring in to help serve your clients better, thus building reciprocity with the client and also building reciprocity with these power partners who would potentially send you more referrals over time. The second reason to truly be in a networking group is with a proper elevator speech. I should say it 100 times, with the proper elevator speech to teach the other members how to become part of your non-commissioned, non-salaried sales force. Under no circumstance to directly pitch people in networking groups. You use the indirect sales approach. You'd never directly pitch someone in a networking group because they're not going to want to be around you. They're not going to want to sit by you. They're definitely not going to want to send you referrals. You're going to have a short-lived run in a networking group. If you last a year or two, I'd be very surprised. Don't go in to sell to the other members. Go in to do number 1. When you do number 1 and 2 properly, then you get business, and it has to be in that order. So just real quick, the law of reciprocity basically says you got to give with no thought of return. And actually, the more you give with no thought of return, the more that comes back. The more you're thinking about making the sale, the more you're thinking about that, the less sales you're going to make. You got to think about serving the other people. And the sales come from people chasing you, not you chasing them. By the way, I didn't say this, and I forgot to, and I'm telling you now, this is being recorded. And I'm going to send you a copy of this because there might be a little nugget in there that could change your life. You might have to hear it a few times. Could be some life-changing stuff in here. What makes B2B gathering different? Some of you are in other groups. I know there's thousands and thousands of other groups. I'm just telling you now, and I'm 1,000% confident there's no group better than B2B gathering on the planet. Hands down, it's not a question. I'm going to kind of give you some ideas on why and how I figured it out. So what I wanted to do is create something different and better, okay? So I got the best networkers I could find, and I catered a lunch, and I put a digital recorder down on the table, and I asked this question right here. What do you hate about the current networking groups you are in? So if you're in networking groups, or if you have been, or if you're looking at them, ask yourself this question. What do you hate about the groups you're in? Now, just off the topic of networking groups for a minute, I'm teaching you how to do market research. This made me a multi-millionaire. Okay, I'm not that smart. I have an AA degree in electrical engineering. But one thing I know is if I want to learn something, I ask other people. Ask other people. So I wasn't just going to develop a group off of what I thought. I wanted to develop a networking group that handled these complaints. Let's talk about the complaints. All right. So I put a digital recorder down on the table. I hit record. I said, what do you guys hate about the groups you're in? I had no idea how animated this was going to get. People were yelling and screaming, Rick, they meet too often. Rick, they meet too early. Rick, if I want crappy runny eggs at 7 o'clock in the morning, I'll have breakfast at home. I don't want to have that stuff in a professional business meeting. Rick, I'm very, very uncomfortable having to fill out these dumb little pieces of paper and handing them to people. I think it's embarrassing. It's unprofessional. I don't want to announce who needs what in the meeting. Also, from what I found, the more pressure there is to hand out pieces of paper in a networking group, the more fake they become. There's a lot of people who enjoy getting a pat on the back and having people admire them. They fill out garbage leads forms and hand out garbage leads forms just to look good, and people end up cold calling. So what I found is the less pressure you put on it and the more organic it becomes, the more natural it becomes, and people actually want to do it, and the referrals become much more qualified. The word pressure that you see there is people feel pressure when they have to fill out a form saying how much money they made so they can then tally it and put it on a website to say, our chapter did XYZ. It's embarrassing. A lot of people lie. I've met with thousands and thousands of people who are in other networking groups. Rick, I just lie. I don't tell anybody how much I make. And I've had other people say, Rick, I just lie. I don't want people to know how much I make. Some people lie up the amount. Some people lie down the amount. I don't want to have a company where people have to lie. It's embarrassing. A lot of times people talk to me about my groups. Are you like XYZ group? And I go, my groups are like that group. If a 1970 Volkswagen is like a 2018 Rolls Royce, then yes, we're alike. The last one, the cost of these other groups is staggering. I cannot believe how they get away with it. I don't know what it costs where you live. I live in the Tri-Valley of the San Francisco Bay Area, and the cost is outrageous. I'll cover it with you in a second. So I tried to do everything the opposite, best I could. So my groups meet once a month, 9 a.m. or noon, in professional conference rooms. Now, my personal groups all meet in chambers of commerce. No food. It's distracting. It's unprofessional. People are paying attention to the food and not to the person in the group. I do no tracking. I don't fill out leads forms. I do not want referrals brought to the meeting. Referrals should be you're meeting with a client. They need someone else's services. You call that person on the phone and you introduce them on the phone, or you do it via email. You don't wait till you get home unless you really have to. Also, you don't wait until the next other networking group and fill out the form so everybody can clap for you because the client's waiting for the referral. Well, some people go, hey, Rick, I give the referral right away, but I still bring it to the meeting. Why? So people can clap for you? You're in a networking group to give each other business. I don't think we need to clap for each other for that. We are in a group to help each other. I don't feel it needs to be tracked. It's embarrassing, and it's kind of the most embarrassing part I see in any networking group is the handing out of referrals in the group. The other embarrassing part is the ones that charge you a fine if you don't bring any. That causes pressure, and it goes back to people bringing crappy leads to the meeting. I don't want to say there's no pressure, but it's definitely lower pressure because I don't need to have fake peer pressure in a group where everybody's throwing leads around, and then when we come to you, if you don't happen to have one, everybody, I'm so sorry, I don't have any referrals this week. It's embarrassing. So we just remove all of that. So the groups are once a month, 9 or noon, no food, and way cheaper. We're going to cover that right now. So I made this slide, make very clear, I made this slide a long time ago. I want to say I made this slide at least 10 years ago. Now, at the time, you all know what the group I'm talking about. It's a big group. They got thousands and thousands of meetings all over the world. I'm just not going to put it in writing. I'm not here to badmouth. I'm stating facts about the cost that these people charge for networking groups is staggering. The reason they can get away with this is because they don't have a lot of competition. Now, this slide where it says a registration fee, that's for you to say, yes, I'm going to join. Now, it was 25, then it went to 75, then it went to 99, then it went to 149, then it went to 199. I heard they're recently raising it to $249 for you to say, yes, I want to join, and then sign a piece of paper and then get your contact information on a website. If I charged that, I'd be a billionaire. So there's a registration fee, and it's way more than 99 bucks. Depending on where you live and where the group meets, there are a few that are under 100 per quarter, but where I live, 120 to 180, and in San Francisco, it's way more than that. And there's a couple in a city where I live, it's about 225 a quarter. Now you got to go times 4, so that's 480 to $700 a year for the food. So we're over $1,000 right now between the registration fee and the food. And guess what? You got to pay to be in the group. When I made the slide, it was 365. Then it went to 395. Then it went to 415, 425, 445, 475. I heard recently it's going to 495 a year, plus the quarterly money times 4, plus the registration fee. I don't know of any groups that are less than $1,000 and up to $1,600 a year to be in a networking group. That's what made me that's what made me so much money, because they charge so much. When I meet people that are in these groups and I show them what I do and what I have, it's not hard to find people to join my groups. Now, the money might not be a lot for you, but I'm going to tell you right now, look at the bottom, 78 hours. That's a lot of booty time. I call that booty time. You're spending 78 hours a year in a weekly networking group, not counting your outside coffee meetings. You're 150, 160 hours and $1,300 a year to be in one group. So here's mine. There's no upfront registration. Hey, Rick, I want to join. There's no quarterly dues. The yearly fee is $425. I give the first month complimentary, so it's actually the first 13 months. It's $425. Now, the education I'm giving you right now, the reason you're listening to this, these are the selling points you are going to use to build your networking group. I'm going to teach you how to do it. And then I'm asking people when they join my groups for 18 hours a year, not 78. So these are the key selling points. Once a month, 9 or noon, 1/4 of the cost. That alone gets people to join. And wait, there's a lot more than that. So let's talk about why some groups don't last, and or they just simply don't produce. They meet too early. I like 9 or noon. I don't like 7:30. I think it's too early. And then it also, I don't want to have anything in common with those other groups. A lot of very, very successful people do not like to get up early, or they have children and they have to take the children to school. They cannot make a 7:30 group. I like 9 or noon. Remember, it's only once a month. They meet too often. Weekly will grind you to a fine pulp if you're in those weekly groups long enough. They have an unbelievably, trust me, the largest networking company in the world has an unbelievably flawed business model. They have poor leadership. Those people are not trained professional networking group facilitators. And those other groups rotate the facilitator out every 6 months to a year. Some don't cost enough, and I just showed you some cost way too much. Free ones, you get what you pay for with free. The spaghetti against the wall theory is, hey, let's get all of our other groups together. Let's have a big event. And then we'll bring a bunch of new people in, and then it's a clown show. They see all these people, so they get excited and they join the group. Come to find out, that group had a visitor day when people visited from all over the place, and that group really wasn't that big. It's called trickery. It's called whatever you want. Smoke and mirrors. I don't like it. It's a game. I use something called the cinnamon roll, which I developed. and I'll tell you a little bit about it today. It's maybe my proudest accomplishment when it comes to building networking groups. And weekly groups will grind you to a fine pulp. Now, we're going to talk about the networking pipeline. This is significant, and I'm giving you education for your business. Forget networking groups for a minute. Let's just talk about how you're going to build business, because there are only 4 ways. I don't care what you do for a living. I don't care what you guys do on this webinar. Whatever you do for a career, there is only 4 ways you are going to get people into your pipeline. There are no other ways. Anything you name falls under one of these 4. All right. Left-hand side, you can cold call. On the bottom is advertising. So SEO, PPC, what I'm doing right now with a webinar, that falls under advertising. It's marketing. It's bringing in leads. Okay, the top right-hand corner is word of mouth. Word of mouth is people selling you. And then the bottom right is networking. That's you putting in your efforts for the short term to build long-term wealth, long-term success. It's stuff you're not working for. Okay, now I want to make very clear, cold calling is something you may have to do in the beginning, but we want to get out of that as soon as possible. That's why the color is red. Okay, advertising. Now, for those of you involved in advertising or websites, there's absolutely nothing wrong with it if you teach your clients how to track. Leads are absolutely worthless if you don't know how to track it and you don't know how to convert. And as you know, leads are much, much harder to close. That's why you need funnels. So funnels are what you use for certain types of information products for certain industries. There are other industries who don't use funnels, who can't use funnels for whatever reason. They're not technically savvy. I help my wife with her real estate business. I would never use a funnel. It's too high touch. Attorneys, CPAs, financial planners, there's a lot of industries that can't even advertise. And me personally, I don't like to do a lot of it because I like my close rate to be extremely high. My appointments take, in my wife's business, 90 minutes to 3 hours. And if I'm dealing with leads, my close rate is going to be a lot lower. I like to close at least 70% if I'm spending that kind of time. So I want you to remember this saying I came up with. If you advertise, you are commoditized. So on the left-hand side, the red color, if you're cold calling or if you're advertising, it comes down to one thing and one thing only. How much? It comes down to cost. Cost, how much? When you advertise, you are commoditized. On the right-hand side, on the top right, let's say you're a financial planner and a CPA is sitting with one of his clients, and the guy's making a lot of money, but he has no financial plan. And the CPA hands you the card of a financial planner. Okay, when you call that financial planner, 90% of the sale is done because your CPA told you to call him. You don't even know how to sell. I don't know how to sell very well. I'm not a great closer. In fact, I don't ask people to buy. I mean, I'm not a closer. I pre-sell. I pre-frame and I pre-sell. So by the time the end comes, it's just a given. But it's set up on a tee by the referral partner. You teach them how to refer you, and that's one of the systems I created I'll tell you about at the end, where you teach other people how to set you on a tee so 90% of the sale is done. And then the bottom right-hand corner is networking groups, events, all that good stuff, where you're out talking to people, but ultimately building referral relationships. So in the top left-hand corner, when you're cold calling, that's one effort to potentially make a sale. On the bottom right-hand corner, that's one effort to build long-term business relationships. It's to build a career. So we have leads and referrals coming into our business through these efforts. We're going to run them through hopefully you're running them through a pre-screen process. This part here, I screen out most of the people that come to me. I want to figure out why it won't work. And if I can't figure out why it won't work, then I know it'll work. And then we get paid. Yay! And then what we want to do is we want to take, you see this arrow feeding back into the pipeline. We want to take people who buy from us, we want to teach them how to become part of our non-commissioned, non-salaried sales force. We want to teach these people how to sell for us. That is through the elevator speech. Elevator speech. That's the key and the foundation of all networking, of all referrals, of all referral-based business, is multiple elevator speeches given at the right time. So hopefully so far you're getting an idea of where we're going with this. I've got a better way. I've got an unbelievable system that I can teach you to get you more business and also help you facilitate a better group, make people happy, make more money. So I was thinking about this and I go, why am I doing this now? I told you in the beginning, this has been a dream of mine for over 10 years. For over 10 years. Well, 2 weeks ago, so what is the date today? I don't even know the date. What is the date today? Those of you listening to this in the future, it is November 29th, 2018. And 11 days ago, I turned 50. And that hit me. I go, what am I doing? I always tell people, you're not getting any younger. If you've got a fire inside you, you should do it. You should do it. You should do it. And here I'm sitting here on something that I know could change your life. I know it. That's why now. One of the reasons. One of the other reasons is I've turned a lot of people away. I get asked all the time, Rick, when are you going to start a group in Oakland? When are you going to start a group in Modesto? When are you going to start a group in San Francisco? Do you have any in Sacramento? Do you have any in LA? Do you have any in New York? The answer is no, and I don't want to. I used to run 19 groups by myself. It's much lower number now. And the next slide, I'll tell you why it's much lower. I currently run 6 groups, and I'm good. And that leads us to the next slide. So I didn't finish my story about my background, so I stopped at networking groups. And I told you I met my wife 8 years ago. My wife does something called land banking, and she was doing it part-time when she joined my groups. And the more I learned about, it's a form of investing in land. It's a form of real estate. I'm not going to get into it here. The more I learned about it and the more I met the people who were with the company, I saw this as something that would help me become wealthy. So I made a commitment to her that I would cut back on my one-on-one coaching, cut back on my networking education for 10 years to do this. And I actually did it in 6.5. So do you see on the screen air mask in an airplane? So God forbid you're ever in a plane that's going down. They say that the air masks drop out from the ceiling above and put yours on first. I've seen the flight attendants walk up to people who have little children and they go, remember, make sure you put yours on first. And I know the natural reaction, you want to put it on your kid first, but when you pass out, you can't help your kid. You got to help yourself first. So I spent the last 6.5 years, and there's no way to water it down, to become financially free or as close as I could. The combination of turning 50, making millions of dollars. I have the time to put in to this now. I didn't have it before, and I'm so ready now. I can't tell you to teach this. Here's one of the other most important reasons. People are absolutely being ripped off in other networking groups. It's embarrassing. We already talked about the price in those other groups. I'm not going to go over it again. It's embarrassing what they charge, and it makes me nuts. So you might be asking yourself, what's in it for me? Why don't I just run a group on my own? Go ahead. Go ahead. Go run a group on your own. Those are the ones that come and go. There's a reason. There is a reason McDonald's has the worst hamburger on the planet, but they got the most stores, because it's the systems. Now, I'm going to tell you right now, I got the best burger in town and I have the best system. I'm not comparing my burger to McDonald's. I got the best burger in town and I have the best system. Okay, it's a proven model. 15 years I've been doing this, running networking groups for 15 years. If you decide to work with me, and we'll get into all the details coming up shortly, it's coming up now. I'm going to directly mentor you. I'm going to teach you everything step by step, word by word, script by script, on how to build your own networking group. You're going to get that directly from me. Guys, I'm going to tell you right now, I don't do a lot of talking on the phone, and I'm going to tell you why. If you have questions as we're moving forward with your networking or how to build your group. Now, the way I'm going to do it with you is webinar trainings and videos. So I get asked questions. In fact, I sent an email to the database a few weeks ago if people had networking questions. I got 9 pages, 9 pages of questions about networking. I like to answer them via video or via webinar so I can record it. So those of you that are ever interested in creating a course, talking on the phone is not going to help you become wealthy. And it's not, here's the main reason, because if you have to answer the same question 50 times, it wastes your time. Find out all the questions people have, record them, put them on a website, and sell it. You can do that. So I will be giving you trainings via webinar and video to teach you how to do this. I'll answer all your questions. I'm not going anywhere. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 or 9 or 10 of you on here who know me personally. I've been doing this for 15 years. I'm just getting started with this. So some of the things we cover in the training. So this is just the networking group training. I'm going to be offering you a whole about 20 hours of training, and I'll explain in a minute. Some of the things that you need to know about a networking group, I tracked this for years. My company's run way over 2,000 meetings. I used to track attendance, the day of the week, the time of the day, and even if male or female had better attendance. And I'm going to tell you right now, females have way better attendance percentage than males do. So some of the things you need to know about running a networking group is you need to know where should they meet, when should they meet, what are the best days of the week and the time, and then the cinnamon roll, and that I'm going to spend a lot of time. That's systematically teaching you how person by person to build a networking group, not spaghetti against the wall. Let's just have a bunch of people show up and see who joins. That is not professional business meeting. We go over the top 30 desired industry in a group. Where to find the members, I will teach you where to find them. I will give you the email scripts that are already written. Just put their name in to get people to meet with you to talk about the group, how to run the meeting word for word, everything, the layout, the documents, the training, the scripting, everything on how to facilitate the meeting. I'll videotape myself running a meeting and you can watch it. And again, everything's supported by webinars and videos. Okay? Also, what's the sweet spot for a group? What are power partners and how to develop them and how to figure out what the group needs, all the scripting, how to do the paperwork, how to set up the room. I'll answer all your questions all the way through. Guys, I'm not going to leave you. I'm here. I'm not leaving. So I want to talk to you about how much you could make from a group. These are conservative numbers if you do it properly. And if you listen, you got to listen. If you don't listen to me, I can't help you. I want to talk to you about, I'm going to show you kind of the inside. I've never showed anybody this before, what groups can develop. Okay, so my groups, the 6 I run, have 24 to 39 members. I'm going to lower it because I don't want to put the pressure on you. We're always going to go conservative. Let's say your group has 25 members, okay? And people pay you, not me. Okay, I'm telling you right now, if you do this with me, you're going to pay me one fee one time. I'll show it to you shortly. You're going to pay me one fee one time. All of this money goes to you. You're not paying me a licensing fee. You know, some of those other groups, the reason why they cost so much is because they got a president, there's a director, there's a field trainer, there's a franchise owner, and then the guy that lives in Southern California, he's got to get paid too. Those other groups, there's 4 to 6 people that got to get paid. That's why they cost so much. This group, it's you, just you. I'm behind the scenes, and I'll help you. You're going to pay me one fee. That's it. It's your group. You have 25 members paying you $425 a year. That one group brings $10,625. Now, rooms are not free. I do not believe in meeting restaurants. I think the meeting facilitator should pay for the room. On average, that's what I pay per meeting, and I pay the chambers of commerce. Now, I have a couple that charge less. I have a couple that charge more. Give or take. Now, I'll also teach you how to get free rooms, but I'm being conservative. Okay. So let's say the room costs you $30 a month. That's $360. Your profit is $10,265. That's just financially. All right. If you're the meeting facilitator and you're building the group, I promise you, you are going to become the person of influence for that group. People that look to you. Guys, it's incalculable what you'll make in your business from being a meeting facilitator. That can't even be calculated. But what, Rick, what if I want to have more than one group? Go ahead. If you have a full-time gig, I don't recommend having more than 2. But if you want to have 3, there's the numbers. One group's 10,265. 2 groups is 20,530. 3 groups, 30,795. That's your income potential. Now, how much do you make if you, and I guarantee there's going to be a lot of people listening to this group who have run other groups, presidents of other groups. How much did you make? While they were making $2,000, not quite that much, maybe $1,400 a year per person. So that group's generating, oh my God, money, $30,000, $40,000 a year. You got zero. That's also one of the reasons those groups are run by people who aren't that good. Sorry. They haven't been properly trained and they're not in it for the long haul. All right. A couple more testimonials for you, and I'm going to show you exactly how we can work together, okay? Rick has totally helped me transform my business and has helped me increase my sales by several 100%. I'm so grateful and thankful for the laws that he taught us to live by, and I can't encourage you enough to read or listen to anything he's produced. He's definitely the best networker in the world, bar none. So I want to teach you guys something else about testimonials. If you're ever feeling down, you're feeling, God, I'm so hard on myself. I'm down on myself all the time. I'm very, very hard on myself. You want to feel good about yourself? Pull your testimonials out, because I didn't make this up. That's the guy's picture. That's him. He wrote it. You want to feel good? Read your testimonials. It'll pump you up. I'm so fired up, and I'm so honored that people would even take a minute out of their day to do this. It's beyond belief. Couple more. I'm headed off to a coffee meeting, and I was thinking about how grateful I am for your introduction to the world of networking. I've met some great people, been able to help my clients find the help they need, and my business has grown significantly. That's Jay. I didn't write this, but it makes me smile. Rick Silva's the greatest networking coach in the world, bar none. He knows how to take any person that can hear, not just listen, but hear, and following the concepts he teaches, turn him into a marketing and sales powerhouse. People following his teachings have doubled, tripled, and exploded their business, regardless of the state of the economy. That's from David. Last one. I've been going to networking events for years, but the tips that Rick taught me completely blew me away! Exclamation point. His ingenuity, passion for understanding how people think, and being able to give clear-cut plan of action empowered me to take my networking to the next level. If you're in business and have not already worked with Rick, you're leaving money on the table. There's so much to learn, and you can improve your networking skills almost overnight by working with Rick. Okay, that's embarrassing, but it makes me feel good. I got tears in my eyes reading that. I know I can do the same thing for you. You have to take the step. I can't force you to take the next step, but I'm going to give you so much value that I hope you do take the next step. Rick, what's this going to cost me? Yeah. You're great. Yeah. You got all this stuff. What do I got to pay? Let's get into that. Because yes, this training's not free. All right. So I'm going to talk to you about everything that's included, and it's a lot, but I'm going to do my best to get you to really understand how much I've included in this course. I can't believe it. Okay, so I have 2 courses. One's called the Coffee Meeting Millionaire Essentials. I'm going to tell you about that one first. It's how to get more referrals from your current, your past, and your future clients. This is the foundation of your networking. It's 12 modules, 10 hours. 12 modules, 10 hours, 12 modules, 10 hours of training. These are the 12 topics. I'm not going to go into great detail. We're going to go over deep networking pipeline, the law of reciprocity, talk about selling, marketing, and networking, when to do each. We're going to go unbelievably deep on the elevator speech and the law of attraction. Go deep into different types of networking groups, more foundation stuff that we're covering today. We're going to go over networking events. So my biggies that I've taught in 5 countries to 20 or 30,000 people is the third one down, elevator speech. The fifth one down, networking events. Rick, I go to networking events. They don't work. Everybody's in a clique. I don't get business from it. I don't know what to do. I'm nervous to go. Guys, I'm telling you, there's nobody in the world knows more about what to do at networking events, and I got a unbelievable training on that. I'll make you a networking event master. Staying top of mind, unlimited leads and referrals, the law of increasing returns, testimonials, how to use them to make sales, turning a cold call into a warm call into an appointment, the ant farm, teaching other people how to send you business. You got the referral. What are you going to do now? Goal setting, Parkinson's law, and then putting together your networking plan. Whew. That's one course. I've sold that course all over the world, at least 1,000 copies of that course. So it's 12 recorded webinars, everything converted to MP3, everything on PowerPoint. I'm giving you my PowerPoint slides, Mac and PC versions. I've sold that course all over the world for $197. Guess what? I'm giving it to you. I'm going to give you the 12 module, 10-hour course for free. All right. The second course I have is the Coffee Meeting Millionaire Mastery Home Study course. 6 modules, power partnering. So if you look at the left on this picture, on the left-hand side, that's the course I just told you about. There are 2 ways to build your referral practice. 2. One is through your networking efforts. The other one is through teaching power partners. Now, if you haven't heard the term, let me go a little deeper. A power partner is a POI, person of influence, is a COI, center of influence. It's a sphere of influence. It's a person who does business with the exact same people you do. They just don't sell what you sell. Okay, that's the power partnering course. Rick, how do I joint venture? How do I get other people to partner with me? How do I get found on LinkedIn? And how do I get referrals from Facebook and LinkedIn? How do I form these relationships? How do I get people to meet with me? Guys, I've had 6,000 coffee meetings. I'm going to teach you how to get people to meet with you, build strategic alliances, get more speaking gigs, do webinars like this. I made over $1 million doing webinars and public speaking. How do I double, triple, or even tenfold my income? I'll teach you. That course, again, it's all recorded webinars, all in MP3, so you can also listen to it. All the PowerPoint slides, Mac and PC versions. Again, sold this course. It's on sale. You can buy it right now for $397. Guys, I'm giving you the course. I'm giving you the course for free. Right now, both courses are on a memory stick if you're listening to it now. But by January of 2019, it's all going to be on a password protected site. I'll get you in there for free. Everything will be on a website. You have it, all of it for free. So we have the Essentials course for free. We have the Mastery course for free. I'm also going to give you elevator speech training. So I'm going to give you 2 videos to watch. You're going to type up your elevator speech. I'm going to work on it. I'm going to send it back to you, and we're going to go back and forth until it's perfect. I can't put a value on it because for me, it's millions, and for my wife, it's multi-millions. And for many other people, it's millions of dollars, because the elevator speech, without a good elevator speech, you are not building a referral-based practice. You are not building a referral-based practice. You got to have like 7 elevator speeches. So that training's free. So we got the Essentials course, 12-hour course, 10-hour course, 12 modules. We got the Mastery course, Power Partner. We got the elevator speech training, free. I'm also going to give you 1 hour of one-on-one coaching, one-on-one, me and you, just me and you on the phone or via webinar for free. Now we got 2 courses. We got elevator speech training. We got one-on-one coaching free. Okay. For the first 20 people, and I don't know when I'm going to hit the 20, I might hit it today. I don't know when I'm going to hit it. But I'm going to give you an extra 30 minutes of one-on-one coaching for the first 20 people. By the way, just so you know, in fact, I'll show you after 20 people do this, I'm raising the price and I'll show you what it's going to be. I'm not throwing all this stuff in for free. I might throw in the courses, but I'm not throwing in the coaching, not the extra coaching. So now we have 90 minutes of one-on-one coaching plus the courses for free. So again, the networking course training, going over how to build it, how to facilitate it, giving you all the forms, all the paperwork, everything you need. I'm going to train you all via webinar. I'm going to record the training, send them to you. I'll do video trainings, teaching you where the group meets, when they meet, what are the best days, teach you the cinnamon roll, the top 30 industries, teach you power partnering. There's so much training involved in this. It's unbelievable. The sweet spot, power partner, scripting, how to set up the room, answer all your questions, everything. All right. After the first 20, then that's going to be $19.97, and I'm not discounting that after the first 20. So you can see what I'm including today. The Essentials course, the Mastery course, the Elevator Speech Training, 90 minutes of one-on-one coaching, and then after 20 people, it's going to be $19.97. Guys, for you, until I get up to 20, everything I told you about is $995. That's it. Let's go. Let's party. I'm ready to go. I'm ready to train you. That's it. Now, I know it's a holiday season. Some of you are going to hear this first of the year. Rick, $995 on my credit card is a little tight. You can also mail me a check. I'll give you my address. But I'm going to try to make it as easy as possible. I can't make it easier than this. You can either do the $995 one time, or you can do 3 payments monthly for $355. I'm ready. I can't help you make this decision. I can't get you to call me or email me. You have to do it. I'm ready to train you if you're ready. Last thing, and we're done. I want you to ask yourself, after you've heard what you've heard, you've seen the testimonials, you hear me speaking to you, my energy, my excitement, do you honestly believe I can help you build your business? Forget the group for just a moment. Build your business. And can I raise your income with this training? It's 16 hours of networking training plus one-on-one coaching, plus I'm going to teach you how to build a networking group. I'm done. Guys, if you're interested, send me a text, give me a call, pop an email. There's my contact information. That's my personal cell phone number. Now you have it. My email address is rick@b2bgathering.com. I'm sitting here right now, ready to go. It's your call. Thank you very, very much for being on the webinar. After I condense this down, I'll put it on YouTube. I'll get you the link. Thank you very much again. We did it in 1 hour and 1 minute. Look at that. That was pretty good. Again, thank you very, very much for being on. If you're interested in moving forward with me, pop me an email, give me a phone call. Have a great day. I'm going to leave this slide on for another minute. We'll see you soon. Thank you.